What's up, guys? This is Giffy Messiah here. I'm here to kind of tell you one of my stories. As for, if you want to come and listen for advice or just hear something, right? You're always welcome to listen. So pretty much this is my story time, and I want to talk about how I joined a pyramid scheme. So I wanted to do that. But first, I want to give a little bit of a life update for you guys. So in that end, I am in my own place, and I've been in it for a month, about to be 2 months. I just moved in June 5th, I believe. So it was just so crazy because I went on a trip to Texas. I literally went on the 29th to the 2nd, and then I had 3 days for me to actually move. And that's when I started moving my shit. You see what I'm saying? That's when I started moving my shit. So was kind of overwhelming, but I think for me, I overthink, so that's why it feels overwhelming to me. But I'm here. You know what I mean? It's been a month or more. So it's been good in that regard, man. I don't got no problems with it. I just think it's, everything is solely reliant on you, right? To make your home, to make whatever, it's fully reliant on what you want to do in that regard. But yeah, so here's my story time on how I accidentally joined to a pyramid scheme. So how I joined. So pretty much, what is a pyramid scheme, right? That's the first thing. What's a pyramid scheme? So a pyramid scheme is when they are and it's so weird because there's so many different things that involves in that. So it's and my brother doesn't even understand. So it's more of for example, so let's just say, you get paid, $60 per line, right? Let's just say that. Or per thing. It could be the amount of people that you have, the more money you're getting because you have certain people, right? So that's the thing. So for me, it might be around $100, but if I got 10 people, now I'm getting 1,000 off of them, right? Because I'm getting most of the percentage of that sale, right? So at the end of the day, it's to be honest with you, having more employees may be more of a liability than a benefit because you have so many people that are fulfilling roles that they don't necessarily need. So sometimes that could be a lot. So it's more of if you are having all these different people, right? And they keep leaving left and right. That's just because they realize that they already know what it is and they're working 12 hours only for chump change, while for the work that they're doing, their manager is getting more of what they're getting than what the actual worker is getting, right? So that's the example of a pyramid scheme. So don't join it, and there's a lot of freaking things that goes on with that. Shout out to Always Marco. So how I got into it was that this is senior year, right? So this is the time to where, I'm lit. I had major senioritis, right? I felt like I was going to stay in Greensboro. I went to UNCG, and I'm going on dates with girls. I'm going to parties. I'm doing all this other stuff because I didn't get to do that in my freshman year. I got to do that in my junior and senior year. So my brother's like, "What's up with you?" He called me one day. He said, "What's up?" I said, I just been going on dates or whatever. So he said, "Man, you need to stop doing that." And my brother always is very outspoken. He always got something to say. But at this point, I agree with him. So he's like, "Yo, you need to find a job." And I was like, "Why? Why do you?" Right? I'm chilling because I already had a plan already, but that plan wasn't as guaranteed. So he was like, "Hey, look, man, the job market is not fair. They're looking for people that's going to take initiative to get, whatever. That's what they're looking for." So in that end, pretty much I'm like, okay, he kind of pushed me to go to a career fair, to do all these different things, to start applying, using my resume, all these different things. So I eventually got contacted by this company, I'm going to call it, Egypt. Mind you, it has nothing to do with it. I'm just trying to connect it. As for a pyramid, Egypt, you see what I'm saying? I'm just naming a random company, but I'm no disrespect to Egyptians. So Egypt, the Egypt company, they contact me and it looked professional, right? Did the first interview, things was good. Did the second interview, things is good as well. But then they're like, hey, you got the job. I'm like, I'm happy. I'm like, yeah, I got the job. And then I tell people I got this job and people are like, but what do you do? I was like, what do I do? I didn't know what I did, right? So it was called client service representative. That just the line itself, you could have just said customer service. That's all you could have said. Client service rep. That's just such a that sounds like a gamer tag. You see what I'm saying? That sounds like a gamer tag. So it was that, and pretty much they were doing certain stuff to where like they had a good, what is it? They had a good website. So I didn't even know how much I was getting paid. So I asked him, he was like, well, you get paid $12.50 an hour plus the sales that you get. But I'm not realizing how hard to get these sales. I'm not realizing the complications in that. So he was like, don't worry about it. You're going to do good. So I'm happy about it. But the more people are asking me, the more I kind of felt like I just kind of felt as if that, I just kind of felt I felt embarrassed to even tell what type of job this was. So I walked through stage. That's when I was actually, I didn't graduate yet, but that's when I walked through the stage. I was going to take 2 summer classes and then I'd be all good to go. And pretty much in that midst of that, that's when I started this job. So the introduction was good. It was around June. So I walked through the stage in May, went to, June. And I'm literally like, I went to orientation and things like that. And I'm like, I kind of confronted my team lead and I'm like, yo, like, I don't know how much I'm paying. Like, how do you get sales? Where are we going to do this at? I see an office, but this office is too small for this many people. Where are we going to actually do the business? So he was like, oh yeah, no problem. So the job really was for AT&T. That's what they say. But when I went to the actual grocery store, I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, this is weird. Like, what? Like, you get what I mean? This is weird. Like, why? Like, it kind of felt like, I'm trying to, it felt like, like a date that you may have had and they're talking, you're like, yeah, it's like catfished. It's kind of like catfishing. It's like where they're like, yeah, we're a good company and do that. But when you go to the house, the girl is completely different than what she was on the picture. So that's how I felt. So I went to the grocery store. He's like, yeah, man, so this is where we want to do it. I'm like, is there like an office? Is there like you see what I'm saying? I don't know exactly where we're going to do this business. I didn't know exactly what we were going to do. That's the other thing. They don't tell you exactly what you're going to do until you're in there. So you have no choice to even do that. So I'm like, okay. So in my job, I didn't really sell a lot because I'm like, the reason why is I'm going to say that later. I'm not even going to say that now. So in the beginning of it, I wasn't really getting any lines because this was just so different for me. This was very different, like very tough, like Andrew Elliott type sales and stuff like that. And that is also a scheme within itself, to my honest opinion. So I'm like, yo, like, this is weird. You get what I mean? I'm like, when can I get off? And they want you to work 12 hours. We're up at 6. Then working until those are, I don't know, is that like a graveyard shift? Like, I'm not even sure. So in that time span, which was only a month, I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling all these types of ways whatsoever in the midst of that. I'm talking to all these people and it's hard because they're saying no, no, no. That's all you keep hearing. No, 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 no. That's all you keep hearing. So some people might get deterred from that. But other people, they like that until they hear a yes. That one yes is better than 1,000 no's. To me, the no's, I don't like that. So in the midst of it, I wasn't really doing good at first. Because for me, I'm very genuine. I'm not going to try to bullshit you. I'm not even going to try to do that. If I'm trying to, like, if I see somebody, right, and they ask me where to get this stuff, the sales is out the window. I never once tried to sell them. I said, ma'am, I'm working in this, but you're good. You're absolutely fine. You're absolutely fine. I'm not going to go and try to sell you something. You need my help. I'm here. Never once try to sell. Like if someone, because like we're in a grocery store, so people are going to ask. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's over here. And people were thinking that I'm trying to do this to get a sale. No, I wasn't. I never once. That was out the window. You see the name tag, which is not, I'm not part of the company or whatever, but cool. So I wasn't doing good at first because I just was a genuine person, and you have to really get to a side to where you're being manipulative, you're doing all this wordplay, you're trying to convince somebody to get this particular thing that somebody doesn't really need. It's just weird. It's so weird, right? You're selling cell phones. Like that's not like the biggest thing in the world. Everybody got a cell phone. Doesn't matter. Everybody, whatever. So I'm just hearing that people were getting sales. I'm like, how? Like, is it me? Is it whatever? Right? They don't give you no bread because I'm only getting paid $250 a week, right? Getting paid $250 a fucking week, right? And wearing these, like, the same suit every day. So during that month, I wasn't really doing too good. I wasn't really doing all of that. I only had 3 lines out of that entire kind of 3 weeks, right? In June. So there was an event that we went to for Atlanta. We went to Atlanta. Didn't really like that too much. And so we went there, and and I'm seeing all these people, all these successful people and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, this feels good. Like, this feels good, and just hearing people's stories and stuff like that. And I didn't think of it at the time, but so many people were in dire circumstances, and it's like, bro, you shouldn't even have stuck through it. Like you missing money on rent. Like, that's crazy. You're missing your grandmother's funeral. That's what I've heard in that meeting, in that particular meeting. People were actually doing that for whatever. That don't even make no sense. But that motivated me at the time. That motivated me. Like that meeting and meeting everybody and just telling everybody whatever, that motivated me to grow. That motivated me to grow. So the next day, I got 3 lines. The next day, 3 lines. And people are like, oh, yo, gifted, and whatever, right? The next day, I got another 3 lines, right? Don't know how, but I got another 3 lines, right? You're like, gifted, I see you, right? So at that time, and it was kind of cool because it kind of intertwined. So it was like, there was 2 reasons why I left. So there was one to where it was financial and also emotional. So the emotional time was when it was during maybe like the end of July, and I'm like, yo, I'm with somebody. He was like some Vietnamese kid, I'm with him, and he was like my partner because we would always be around all the time. Sometimes it'll be my homie Ryan. Shout out to Ryan. Me and him, he left the same time, and also someone else. It was this lady. I forgot what her name was, but she was Bria. Great, love her a lot. And so at that particular time, she, like, for me, it's like, and this is me going even to clubs as well. Like when people trying to get girls and doing it just such a weird way, I'm not that type of dude. Like, I'm more like, if I fuck with you, if I see you, I'm gonna talk to you, right? I gotta be in a good energy, good space. You see what I'm saying? Because if, and that was with me with these people as well. When we got good energy and stuff like that, we're having chats, we're having fun, all this other stuff. That's what gets me going. Because people are going to, I would say, drift to that energy. Now you're getting the sell. That's the same thing with me. I'm not trying to be all like talking to the girl, and I'm a lot more genuine. I don't go ahead and, because people be weird. So after I'm getting these lines, I'm like, and I'm sorry for going all over the place. After me getting these lines, I'm like, bro, where's the money going? Like, I got 3 lines. Where's the money going, right? So the Vietnamese guy that I always came with, because they always come in 2. They always had 2, not more than 2. So he's like, hey, I'm going to leave. I said, for real? He was like, yeah, I'm going to leave. He leaves, right? So I'm by myself. For the whole weekend. So pretty much I called my team lead and I'm like, look, I didn't do good. It wasn't really the best. I kind of told him. I let him know. So Monday, they bring a secret shopper. Like they bring a secret shopper report. Those reports are when, if you're doing good or doing bad, they would bring somebody randomly just to see what you're doing. Even at my job now as a leaser, they do that, and it terrifies me. It gives me PTSD because of that, right? So they're like, and just pretend, So they're like, today we got a secret shopper report, and, I just want to know, how's everybody feeling, right? And everyone's like, yeah. Like, everybody's like, it's just toxically positive. So they're like, hey, so guys, do you want to read this report? And they're like, yeah, how do we do? Because everyone else's report will always be a 5 out of 5 or a 4 out of 5, right? They're like, so right here we have a report a 1 out of 5. So it was like a sitcom. Everyone's like, oh. So the dude is like, oh, so right here we have, he wasn't talking with customers. He kept going on break. He kept using the bathroom, and he wasn't talking to anybody. He wasn't being as sales professional, and we will talk to him right after this meeting individually. So I'm shook. Right? I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know. So right after that, my team leads like, hey, let me talk to you. I said, bro, I already know it's me. Like, what do you mean? I already know it's me. I already know I did bad. I already know, right? But I just realized you could really have a bad day and still you're not going to be doing good. Still, you're not going to be succeeding. Still nothing. You're not going to be doing the best as you should because of that. But that was one straw for me. But that wasn't totally it until the financial part. So as I was saying to you guys, I got a line that I got 3 lines in 2 different days. So I'm like, damn, if I'm getting these lines, what's going on? Because they're talking about it that we're getting these lines, but yet there's no money coming in. I got shit I gotta pay for. My car is practically broken down. My car is practically 80-something years old. How I was driving. So I'm like, dang, like I need the money. I need the money to really get out of this situation. Plus, to be honest, I wasn't doing good in my classes. I had to literally restart my classes because I was so invested into this. So I'm talking with my friend Ryan. Shout out to him. And during, because we worked in the same company, we worked for an Egypt company. And he's like, yo, bro, like, how's your line? I said, bro, I got lines and shit like that. I got 6 lines this week. Like, what's going on? He was like, well, I'm looking at this contract here and it says that we get 46 per line. But in the beginning, he's told me that it was 76. So I don't even got my phone with me. But if you do 6 times 76, I'm trying to think. I don't even know, like 400 something down. I don't even know. So 400 something. And he said, if you go 500 and higher, you will be good, right? You would either get over 500 per week, or you would get the paycheck. So it's not both. So I'm like, yo, like this is crazy. I called my team lead, and he says, instead of worrying about your money, you should be worrying about pitching. That's what he says to me. I said, okay. Then told my team, I said, okay. I don't even know how to do it, but I'm going to do my best impression because I like Tony. I like Tony Montana, right? I was like, okay. The next day I started applying. So I was applying to different ones. I was also doing whatever. And sometimes when you pitch to the right people, they would offer you jobs. They would literally offer you a job. They would like, or not offer you, but they would, refer you. So shout out to this lady, like dead ass, like shout out to this lady. I pitched to her prior to me figuring that out. And she was like, I'm not going to get your product, but you can come with me. I'm like, what do you do? She was like, well, I work for an apartment company. I work for a property management company. I said, oh, shoot. I said, okay. I was like, all right, let me try to figure it out. Right? So I've been emailing her, right? And I didn't get a response. I've been emailing her, didn't get a response. 2 months or 2 weeks later, and that was when all that stuff happened. That was when I finally realized it. She responds back and says, I'm sorry, I've been busy, but we got an open position for you. Got an interview. Shout out to Vicky, shout out to Kat. And I got the job, right? And not only that, I was able to work for the hotel that I worked when I was in high school. And I went there too. I was ready to go. And I was like, yo, thank God. Thank God. Right? I was like, thank God, man. I got the offer letter. Bro, I got the offer letter while I said, bro, let me take that deal. Right? Way more than what I was getting paid. Also, the commission was easy. Stuff like that. Apartment commission is great. You get good money as well if you know how to sell right. So I'm like, yo, I tell them, and it's so crazy. The final day, it's kind of like a toxic ex that you were already planning on breaking up with. But in reality, she does something good and you're like, freak, bro. Now I'm not sure. Now because you just did this thing for me. So literally, the day that I was going to quit, literally, we're in the office and we're doing all these sales things or whatever. And it's so crazy. I feel like they knew, but it was like, yo, like we're doing all these things. They're like, yo, Gifted, you're going to do good today. That's what they said. They said, yo, you're doing good. Let's go. And it feels so good, so positive, because you don't really see that in a lot of workplaces. You don't really see, like, everyone's like, do your work. Gone. Even now, like, I've shout out to Kelsey. Like, not even now. Like, we're cool, but it wasn't as positive, but not in that sense to where it feels like you're in a locker, sports locker, because that's what they're going to say. Sports locker, and you're feeling good, and you're feeling like you belong to something and stuff like that. It felt like fucking cross country. So, out of nowhere, they're saying all these things. I said, bro, I gotta go. Despite I was so close from me leaving or staying, like super close. I was like, bro, I'm gone. I already got my job. I'm gone. I talked to my team lead and I said, bro, I gotta talk to you. Let me talk. Take this walk with me. Like that was how it was. I was like, let me talk to you. And he was like, what? I said, look, I'm gone, man. Got a better job opportunity. Out of obligation, I'm gonna work this last shift and then I'm good. He was like, okay. Work the last shift. I didn't care. I was working with my iPad like I was like Saints Row, was it 3 or 4? It was 4 to where he's like, like I was like that because I'm good. Like I got a good job. I'm feeling good, right? So pretty much like out of nowhere, like, the time is up or whatever. And my team lead comes because mind you, they're always getting new people. Always. There's always somebody that's willing to fill up the fucking room. So he was like, hey man, did you get a cell? I said, no, like what are you talking about? What are you talking about over here? I'm not doing that. I'm good. Like, what are you talking about? If I'm leaving the job, what am I doing? I'm not putting no effort because I'm good. I don't gotta put no effort no more, right? So what was so good about that was I was able to get out of it within a month because of those factors. Now just imagine people that stay. There's so many people that stay because of the job market. The job market sucks. Because a lot of these companies, and you hear this all the time, how you want an entry position to be experienced? That doesn't make sense. The whole point of an entry position to be a novice. That's automatically who you are already. You're not gonna be the best at it. So I just feel like a lot of companies, they're not promoting that, like let's get these new people here and let's get them to work so that way they could be loyal, right? So, and that's to my opinion. I'm not saying that that's how it is. I'm just saying my opinion. And that's how a lot of these pyramid companies take control of these people. These are people, even in the meeting in Atlanta, these are people to where they just look way out of, like they don't even look, they belong in corporate. They just don't even look like that. All they wear is a suit, and that is pretty much it. You see what I'm saying? And what they do is they try to use your personality to their advantage. So they're like, you like money? Okay. If you get $500 a line, that's all for you. Or you might be a good person like myself. I'm saying in the sense of you want to help people, right? You want to come in you want to do whatever. They're going to use that as an advantage as well. You see what I'm saying? Oh, you're helping people. You're giving them a cheaper deal. And that's what they do all the time. That's what they literally do all the time. To me, I consider pyramid schemes like drug dealing because you're wasting all your talent into a market that's going to eventually die. It's going to eventually die. You're going to eventually go to jail and you're not going to even be able to use that business mindset to something legal for you to have that forever. You get what I mean? So I'm really glad that I was able to pay for my classes. I got a new car. But I was able to pay for that. Like, just imagine if my car broke down and while my car broke down, I don't even got no money to even pay for insurance, to pay for my car note. These are things that people don't think about, right? So it was a lot, man. But don't join them at all. Just try to be more curious, especially getting out of college. For you college folks that may not have experience, please, figure out what's going on. If they don't tell you the pay, if you see a role that looks like a gamer tag or something based off of Xbox, don't do it. Don't do it. But that's my story time, and that's what it is. Thank you so much for listening, guys.